Reporting live for Right Side Broadcasting Network from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm Jordan Parker, joined by Zoe Bethel and Liz Willis, and boy, is it great to say that again. This is the first President Trump rally in nearly 4 months, and we are super excited to be back on the road and be back with all of you watching from all across America and all across the world. This is our first pre-show or evening rally eve stream we've done in quite a while, and we're doing this because it is such a massive event. You can see off to my left, people have been lined up since Monday at 2:30 a.m. Yes, Monday at 2:30 a.m. In anticipation of the president's rally tomorrow. The president is going to begin speaking at 6 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. He's going to be doing an outside speech, and then he's going to be moving inside to the BOK Center at 7 p.m. local, 8 p.m. Eastern to continue his remarks inside. So it's going to be a full day of President Trump coverage. The campaign is going all out for this first rally back, and we are going to be right alongside them each step of the way. We have a big crew here. We're going to be providing indoor coverage, outdoor coverage, overhead shots, split screen, you name it. Right Side is here to bring you full coverage as we always do, and we aren't making this time any exception. We want to let you know that we have been here the whole time for the past 3.5 months as we've been moving through this coronavirus pandemic, and we want to give a special thank you to all of you at home for sticking with us through this difficult time. We know it's been difficult for all of you across the nation, all of you across the world as well, and we can't thank you enough for your continued support. We are going to be back here at each and every rally as best as we can all the way through Election Day to continue to bring you President Trump's rallies uninterrupted and live. That's our signature. If you're joining us for the first time, we want to welcome you to Right Side Broadcasting Network and let you know that we are an online media company focused on streaming the president's campaign rallies. We've been doing this since 2015, and we are going to be on the road with him through November 3rd of 2020. My two lovely friends here, Zoe and Liz, are joining us for this rally. They're also going to be providing commentary all throughout tonight and tomorrow as well. Tomorrow we have some exciting interviews. As always with Right Side, we're going to be interviewing the people in line. We're starting coverage around 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern, and so it is going to be a full jam-packed day. We're going to try and get to as many people. Yes, lots of coffee. We're going to try and get to as many interviews as we can before we make our way inside onto the press risers as usual. Continue our coverage there, and as you all know, we are going to be uninterrupted the entire time. You're not going to have any commercial breaks. You don't have to pay for it. We are right here to provide you the best experience of a President Trump rally possible. We're going to be showing you all the pre-speakers, panning the crowds, possibly talking to some Trump campaign officials, and then bringing you the main event of the evening, the Vice President, and then, of course, the President of the United States. As I mentioned, he's going to begin his remarks at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, outside here at this outdoor stage, and then moving inside the center where he's going to have his remarks starting at 7 p.m. local, 8 p.m. Eastern. So we anticipate the president talking for 2 to 3 hours tomorrow night. It's going to be a jam-packed event, but for those of you who have been missing President Trump's rallies, I doubt he will disappoint you tomorrow night. Now, Liz, this is our first rally back, your first rally back. Lots of people here, massive crowds, massive lines wrapping around the block. Has this exceeded your expectations? Do you think there's going to be more people, less people? Let us know what you're thinking.
Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, no, so far, so good. I don't want to say it's hasn't exceeded my expectations, but we did hear that there was over 1 million requests for tickets to this event from the Trump campaign. So I was expecting things to be a little more hectic, a little bit crazier. But so far, these lines, everyone has really been in their place, following the protocols and the safety measures that have been put in place. It seems like a regular rally to me so far. Of course, when it's a regular rally, a Trump rally, there's no such thing as regular. I mean, we are just used to seeing thousands and thousands. There are crowds lined up in pretty much every direction, but it's very civil. It's I'm not sure if any protests are going on in different areas that we're missing out on. We have been informed that there are certain groups that are coming or we're at least planning to come and be destructive and cause chaos around these groups. But so far, so good. Right now, we're going to pan so you can see that we are just about a block from the arena. You can see it behind us, and we are right outside the gates. You can see those down the road behind us. So we are right on the outskirts of what's being projected right now. Of course, this will open up tomorrow as they allow the ticket holders inside, but I think it met my expectations, knowing that these expectations are absolutely unheard of. It's truly remarkable that a man, not a band, not a big pop star, is bringing in crowds like this. It's historic, and it's really cool to be a part of. So here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, if you're new or if you're just now tuning in, our goal for tomorrow is to bring you the whole rally, this event uninterrupted. We don't normally go live the night before, but we knew there was so much kind of speculation and gossip amongst the media about what this rally is going to be like, if it was even going to be able to happen, because, I mean, lawsuits. The Dems did not want President Trump to get out here and rally his base, but the Trump campaign did not take no for an answer. This is massive. There are 3 different media locations that we'll be filming from, so there's a lot going on, and we're excited to bring it to you guys. In a minute, we'll tell you how you can support us and how you can help get us to go from rally to rally, because we are almost entirely viewer funded. Before we get to all of that, I want to hand it off to Zoe so she can reintroduce herself. It's been a minute since we've had her with us. Zoe is one of my dearest friends, so everyone please welcome her. And Zoe, if you don't mind just telling us a little bit about yourself, your journey here today, and what you think of this so far.
Thank you, Liz. I actually had a nice trip coming in. I came in from Miami. I was on a little bit of a vacation. We all pretty much was on a little bit of a vacation with the whole COVID situation, right? I'm really, like what you guys are saying, really excited for tonight and tomorrow. I'm also happy for the turnout and for hearing about the amount of people that are requested to come tonight or come tomorrow. And I'm just really happy to be here. I quit my job, actually, to do this full time and commit a little more of my time for election season coming November. So I'm really happy to be here with the team again and to much more rallies in the future. So, yeah. But anyways, I've never been to Oklahoma before, and I'm pretty excited to be out here tomorrow to interview some maybe natives to Oklahoma. I heard that a lot of the people are mainly from out of town that will be attending as well, but we'll see tomorrow when that time comes. So anyways, but I'm super excited to be back here. So.
Thanks so much, Joey. It's great to have you, and we are super excited to have you on our election cycle team. As Liz mentioned, there's been over 1 million ticket requests thus far. However, I'm sure you're saying, how are you going to fit 1 million people? Well, a ticket does not guarantee entry, so you have to have a ticket to enter. However, just because you have a ticket doesn't mean you get to enter. So the BOK Center seats about 19,000 and some change, 19,100 people roughly, and we anticipate each and every one of those seats being packed. And there's room for a couple 10 to 20, 30,000 more space for them outside as well, where the president's also going to be addressing that crowd at 6 p.m. local time. So the campaign has made awesome accommodations to make sure the president is able to speak to as many people in person as possible. The campaign always goes above and beyond to make sure that the president is able to speak to his supporters directly, and this instance is no different. Now you're wondering, okay, there is still a pandemic going on. We haven't, that hasn't changed much. Yeah, and so you may be wondering, how is the campaign addressing this? Well, the campaign is going to be handing out masks to each and every person who comes in the door. They are going to be doing temperature checks for each and every person. They're also going to be giving hand sanitizer to each and every attendee. We went in a little bit ago for media preset. We had our temperatures taken, and we were required to wear masks as well. We have our masks here with us. We'll probably be wearing them on tomorrow since we're going to be amongst much bigger crowds and not able to socially distance like we are right now. But the campaign wants to make sure they can continue to do these rallies because, as you know, if there's a massive spike, the rallies may have to be put on pause. So the campaign is encouraging people to wear their masks tomorrow. They're not required. However, we're going to be doing our part, and we hope you do your part at home as well to make sure we continue to flatten the curve and ensure that these rallies are able to continue as normal through Election Day, because we all know you want to be on the road, and we want to be on the road, bring you this coverage just as much, and that is very important to us. So we want to thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for continuing to do your part to slow the spread of this pandemic. Now, Liz, I don't know if you have any questions or comments. How is the chat looking right now?
Okay, great. Jordan, yeah, I wanted to mention that earlier. So I am looking down a lot. I want you guys to know that I'm actually reading all of your comments. So here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, we're very interactive with you guys as opposed to staring at a teleprompter. We're completely live, unscripted. And for the most part, we just try to answer questions you may have for those of you who are unable to attend these events. So if you do have a question right now, Zoe, there was a lot of love for you earlier in the chat.
Thank you guys.
Welcoming Zoe. Thank you for that. But please tag me at Liz Willis, or if anyone else is in the chat, you can tag them as well. I have my phone up right now, so if you have questions about this specific event, what we've seen today, what we expect to see tomorrow, protesters, numbers, a lot of people were surprised, but yes, it is confirmed. The Trump campaign did claim that over 1 million requests were sent in for this event to get tickets to come to this event. The arena does hold roughly 19,000. The Trump campaign is setting up the overflow area, as Jordan mentioned earlier, for those. And they're expecting that it could be somewhere around 100,000 people out here tomorrow, which is just absolutely wild. So we are going to do our best to stay safe and make sure everyone around us is safe too. But it's absolutely historic. This is the first rally back in months. We're excited to be here, and we're excited to have y'all joining us. It looks like we have almost 2,000 people in the chat right now, which is crazy for the night before rally. Somebody just said, Liz, are there any agitators around? Not really. I haven't seen any.
We have that behind us.
We have Randall and the giant flags. We've got that. We can zoom in on that really quick.
Big flag.
So, Randall's flag. Hey, Randall. He's one of our biggest fans. We love it. Actually saw a picture of that flag in the news today.
Yeah.
And I recognized Randall. He loves his flags. We love them too.
That's a consistent thing at these rallies.
That's a massive flag. You got to be strong to carry that.
One to date I've seen.
Very cool. And the other one's on a fishing pole. Randall is a true patriot. He is just always out there. But we're excited to be here. Don't forget that Right Side Broadcasting Network is almost entirely viewer funded, meaning we rely on your support and donations to get us going from rally to rally. It's been a passion of ours. Our CEO started this company before the 2016 election, and just it's evident how much of an impact he had on the actual election, because you can zoom in on that if you want. It's cooler than my face. But it's just evident the amount of views because of your support, the way that y'all tune in and share and like our streams. So we thank you for that. Monetarily, if you'd like to donate that way, there are a number of ways you can do that. Jordan, do you mind mentioning the three main ways that people
Not at all.
can donate?
It's been a while since
I
we've
know, I
done
don't
this.
remember.
But
I'm
first of all, you can head over to rsbnetwork.com/donate. There you can donate via credit card, debit card, or PayPal. The second way is you can donate in the YouTube Super Chat by clicking the $ on the bottom right-hand corner of that chat. You can leave us a message that'll pop up on Liz's phone over there. You can also write us a check. You can send that check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. That address is on our website. Also, you can ask the moderators to drop that down in the chat. And the final way, what's the fourth and final way? I'm blanking. Is it just three ways? I think it's just three ways. Patreon. You can become a Patreon member. That's right. If you head on over to patreon.com/RSBN, you can become a monthly subscriber. That gets you a whole slew of benefits, and it's an easy way to provide your continued support. The president's been really busy lately as this coronavirus pandemic has moved its way through the nation. The president has been getting back on the road. Just a few weeks ago, he was at SpaceX for the SpaceX launch, where we launched the first American astronauts into space in nearly a decade from U.S. soil on U.S. rockets. That was in partnership with SpaceX and NASA. Elon Musk's Falcon 9 rocket and the Crew Dragon took 2 astronauts up to the International Space Station. The president has also participated in some fundraisers recently and slowly started to build his travel up recently. He's going to be in Arizona next week for a Students for Trump rally, a Students for Trump event. He's going to be speaking there. And then there are rumors that the next campaign rallies are going to be in Florida and North Carolina. Those have yet to be announced. But of course, as soon as we hear about those, we will be sure to let you know. So it's going to be a busy election season. Today it was also announced that the president will be holding another Salute to America event on July 4th in Washington, D.C. Last year he held one on the National Mall. RSBN covered the entirety of that day. It was a long day, but nonetheless very rewarding with the parade, the fireworks, the flyovers, the whole 9 yards. The president's going to be doing that again this year along with the First Lady. However, it will be a little bit modified of an event. It's going to be taking place on the south lawn of the White House as opposed to the Lincoln Memorial. There's still going to be the fireworks, the flyovers, the military songs and stuff, but we assume it's going to be a little bit smaller of an event, of course, due to the pandemic and the constraints that surround that. A lot going on in this nation, a lot of current events. Obviously, we've had the Black Lives Matter protests going on over the death of George Floyd, who was murdered a few weeks ago by an officer in Minneapolis, and the uprising and the unrest from that. We've also had the continuing of the coronavirus pandemic. I mean, this is a thing that I think we've forgotten the past few weeks, is this is still going on. It's been going on for a few months now, and it hasn't gone away. Obviously, cases and positivity numbers have dropped significantly, as well as the death rate. Thankfully, it's a great thing to see Americans really stepping up to the plate, practicing social distancing, practicing their hygiene to make sure that the death number is kept way lower than projected. It is estimated that because of the social distancing and the coronavirus guidelines that the White House laid out, we have saved nearly 2 million lives, which is a staggering number. Obviously, the over 100,000 lives lost to date from the coronavirus are terrible, and our thoughts and prayers are with each and every one of those families who have lost a loved one. However, looking on the bright side, that's a much better number than the 2 million that was originally estimated. So kudos to the American people for really stepping up and doing their part to flatten the curve. Zoe, a lot's going on recently, a lot of current events. What are your thoughts on everything taking place in this nation?
Thank you, Jordan. Well, first, happy Juneteenth, everybody. We were just talking about that earlier. I do have to admit myself, I learned a lot over actually the past couple of weeks with all the whole Black Lives Matter movement and everything going on. I've learned a lot about my history, and I mean, it's okay for me to say that, but I still don't discredit the fact that racism took place years ago, where we were oppressed and we were not able to have the liberties that we have today. I'm able to be here with you guys, standing with you guys today, because of leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., who stood up for our rights. But like I said, happy Juneteenth, and I'm happy to be here enjoying my freedom. I just want everybody to continue being supportive of each other and knowing that, like, you can have your own opinion, you can discuss it amongst others, but just keep it cordial, be respectful, and I mean, that's the way, everyone out here seems to be very peaceful. I'm promising tomorrow that people will continue to be peaceful, prayerfully. Actually, Gage, if you want to kind of pan around it, the crowd kind of has, a little crowd has gathered around, I think maybe because of not only traction from the media, but we have the huge flag here that you guys were talking about earlier. But let's kind of take a look. And I saw some people, socially distant. Yes, we're going to abide by those standards. But also, we were walking down, and maybe about 3 or 4 blocks down there, the line has already started. I talked to my Uber driver today. He mentioned how there were people camping here since since Monday over the weekend. Yeah, so it's just it's amazing to see the dedication that everyone has with being out here. Everyone's excited to see their president. I'm sure he is excited to come out here to speak to the people of America. Jordan?
Yeah, that's a great point you brought up a little bit earlier on civility and just how it's important through, why these discussions are hard and why this is a difficult time for a nation. It's important to remain civil. It's important to remain respectful and to have those conversations, but in a civil manner. I know a lot of times, outrage culture and cancel culture can kind of get in the way of productive dialogue. So as you mentioned, very well, it's good to make sure that even if you disagree, if you're on different sides of the aisle or opposing opinions, you can still productively and cordially have a conversation with someone. And in the times I've done that, I've learned a lot more from those. Even if I disagree with someone and I may not disagree with them or may not agree with them at the end, but I learned something and I took it away, because at the end of the day,
or just having a better understanding of their perspective.
Dissenting is a lot more productive than arguing and debating and yelling at each other. So I think that's an important thing to maintain as we go through this. At the end of the day, we all are Americans. We do live in this wonderful country, and I think sometimes hate gets thrown around a lot. The word hate, people hate each other, and I don't think that's the case. Yes, we disagree. Yes, there is tension and anger, and tempers do flare. But at the end of the day, us as a nation love each other, we respect each other, and we want the best for each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We all want the best in the end. We all want to experience our freedom, and we all want to be able to live in harmony, and we just want peace. So like I said, I'm excited. I'm so excited and pumped to be here. Tomorrow, I guess we'll get an early start, and I'm sure a lot of the other supporters will be out here getting an early start as well to get in on all the festivities that our president has planned for us tomorrow. Will there be a little bit of music? I think there will be a little bit of music even. We saw earlier the stage and everything that was set up. It was kind of, The dome fits, what, 19,000? 19,000, yeah, 19,000 people. So far it's the largest I've seen. I can't wait to get in tomorrow to get a visual on the crowd. So, yeah, so.
Thanks, Zoe. We're going to move down this way a little bit. We're going to see if we can give you a shot of the front of the line. We're not going to talk to people tonight because of social distancing. We want to make sure that everyone remains safe. But nonetheless, we want to make sure you can get a good perspective of just how big this line has gotten. As we mentioned earlier in the program, people have been lining up since 2:30 a.m. on Monday. Yes, Monday, 5 days ago. It's now Friday evening, and people have been here for the entire week. Again, the president does not begin his remarks till 6 p.m. local time tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, outside, and then making his way inside into the BOK Center at 7 p.m. local, 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can see there's kind of, I know people have been talking about the Chaz in Seattle a lot. This is kind of turned into its own peaceful Chaz. There's a little bit of a tents erected, and people are excited and ready to be out here. They've been camping, they got food, heat, whole 9 yards. People really have shown up for this event tonight to get their chance at seeing the president in person. We're going to move a little bit more this way, see if we can make it up to the corner here. As you can see behind me as well, some large metal gates have been erected. These are the kind of gates we see at the inauguration style events in Washington, D.C. They're these big, tall iron or steel gates that keep people where they need to be, make sure everyone is safe, make sure the venue is secure. And so this is the first rally I've been to where gates of this nature have been constructed. So you can see kind of through this intersection here off to my left is where the BOK Center actually is. It's across the park just a couple blocks from where we are right now. Is where the event's going to take place tomorrow. So the perimeter of that event center has been pushed a little bit farther out to where we are now. Even when we had to check in for press, we had to check in a few blocks away to maintain the security of the area and the health. We had to, as we mentioned, they're doing health screenings, they're doing temperature checks, and they want to make sure that anyone who fails that temperature check or fails that health screening is kept far and away from the venue, not compromise the health of the other attendees. Therefore, cameraman wants to do a pan down this line. You can see this whole block is filled with Trump supporters, those waiting in line to see the president tomorrow, and it is quite impressive, I must say.
While we're showing you a little bit more, we'll keep walking. We'll walk back up the street to the light. Cameramen, if y'all want to follow me, we'll just walk and talk a little bit. I do want to say thank you to everyone who's donated and supported us, but also to our partners, Disney Coins. We're excited. We're going to be talking a lot about this tomorrow and get you guys with us for a really long time now. They're absolutely incredible. It's an American company providing you these materials that have all been minted in the United States. Not only do they give back 10% of their profits to conservative organizations and causes, but they hire Americans, and they just absolutely love America and everything that it stands for. So we're excited to be partnering with them. You can check them out over at Disney Coins. They actually do a massive giveaway for each of these rallies, and by watching RSBN, you'll be able to figure out how to get entered to win that. Normally we would start it tomorrow, but I figured we're live. We have a lot of people watching. You guys might be busy tomorrow, so go ahead and jump on this giveaway. It's completely free. These guys mean it. We do it all the time with them. They just want to get their products into the hands of these patriots. So if you go to disme.com, that's DISME coins.com. I'll spell that again, DISME coins, COINS.com. You'll be shown all of their products. It's a great functioning website, really easy to use. Now remember, go over to the left side of the screen. It'll say giveaways. There's a couple of them that'll show up. So if you click read more on the latest giveaway for today in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you'll be able to see where you are prompted to enter the giveaway. So sign up for that and make sure to put your email address and all that, and you will automatically be entered to win. Based on the number of entries going in tomorrow, Disney Coins will be giving away more and more coins, totaling over thousands of coins they want to literally just send you for free. So make sure you've signed up, that all of your friends and family have signed up. Chances are really high that you will win something. So again, that's dismecoins.com. Enter their giveaway. Make sure you check out some of their products. You can use code RSBN, as in Right Side Broadcasting Network, for a discount off your purchase. Again, we'll be talking a little bit more about that tomorrow, but I wanted to give our viewers a little bit of a VIP incentive to just go ahead, sign up, and enter to win that giveaway. Again, massive giveaway, Disney coins. We want to thank you so much for your support, helping make it possible to get Right Side Broadcast Network to all of these rallies and to support President Donald Trump in his re-election for President of the United States. So you've seen it right now as we walked up the street that we're on right now. There's a little bit of a blockade. And there are some vendors right here, but for the most part, that was the front of the line up there. So what you're able to see is people that have been in line for days. Jordan, have you heard reports on the earliest someone has gotten here?
I believe the earliest someone got here was Monday at around 2:30 a.m. is what I saw. Monday, 2:30 a.m., so about 5 days ago is what I reportedly was the first person in line here in Tulsa. Now, again, that's 5 whole days. I don't think we've seen any lines that early at a rally. I've been to 20 or 30 of them now, and I don't think I've seen anyone wait in line that far in advance of you, Liz.
No, this is one of the craziest I've seen so far. And were you surprised at all when the mayor lifted the restrictions on curfew, or did you expect that President Trump would have some leeway in getting those removed?
Yes and no. I figured, I saw the curfew come in, as we all did. Kind of surprised by it. However, with the threat of violence and the threat of outside agitators coming in, it kind of made sense to make sure everyone was safe. Obviously, that's the number one priority here, is that everyone is safe and healthy. And when the president tweeted that the curfew was lifted, I was kind of surprised. Honestly, I felt, indifferent about it. Wasn't, super for it, wasn't super against it. Again, with safety being the number one concern, I wouldn't want any of these people out here to take a brick to the head if Antifa came through this way and started, clashing with the Trump supporters. So it made sense, but once the president talked to him and the mayor decided that the curfew could be lifted, that's fine as well. It's very peaceful out here, as it's past 10 o'clock yet, which is when the proposed curfew was going to take place. And there's no violence. I mean, we have not seen any agitators like it was kind of teased. We've not seen any protesters. When we drove in today, we saw a few Black Lives Matter protesters, but only a handful, and they were all being very peaceful. And a few of them were actually interacting with the Trump supporters and having great dialogues, as you and I talked about a little bit earlier, having those conversations. I saw a few of them hug, so it sounds like they ended well. And again, as we said a little bit earlier, it's important to have these conversations, but do it in a respectful and a peaceful manner. So no violence just yet. We haven't quite made our way around the entirety of the line, but from what we can see, everything is nice and calm here in this little blocked off street where the supporters and those waiting in line have set up camp. Zoe, what are your thoughts? What were your on the curfew?
Well, my thoughts in particular on specifically people who have been giving President Trump a problem, I should say, for having this rally. It's funny to me how BLM, they are allowing advocating for people to continue rallying in the streets and rioting and looting, but we can't be out here peacefully. And we can't be out here supporting our president. But anyways, it just shows the bias that liberals continuously try to have their views on us. And, of course, anything goes if they say it goes, and no logical reason. But anyways, I'm pretty excited, like I said, to be here. And everyone is peaceful, and I'm praying that everyone will be peaceful tomorrow. We won't have any issues, any rioters or any looters or anything like that. So.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that's probably what kind of gave the campaign a little bit of a green light to go ahead with these rallies, is the mass protests we've seen around the nation. Mass gatherings of people, which we've been told for a long time are not allowed, but not encouraged. You can't be in groups of more than 10, can't be in groups of more than 25, so on and so forth. And so when these rallies or protests started happening, I think the campaign was like, well, if 100,000, people can go out there and support that, then people should be able to come out and support this. And now, I don't think it's mutually exclusive supporting both things. I think you can support both causes at the same time, but we can't, move the goalposts, and we can't selectively apply the standards and the rules to just Democrats or just Republicans. It needs to be a wide thing. Okay, either no one's going to protest, no one's going to have rallies and political events, or everyone should be able to. But to justify saying you can violate the recommendations because of your political leanings, that's not fair. Not fair at all. Now, you may agree with them, you may disagree with them, disagree and agree with both. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, if we're going to have the standards and abide by the regulations that the CDC has implemented, then, It should be done across the board. It should be done evenly to make sure every American has a fair shot at their freedom, at reopening their business, what have you. How can I not get a haircut, but I can go stand in a crowd of 100,000? So there's a lot of questions that have been raised, a lot of fair questions that have been raised the past few days about the protests. And so I think that's, at the end why the campaign was like, you know what, we're going to go ahead with this because, there's no reason we can't do it if they can't do it. And so that's what you're seeing here behind us now. Liz, what are your thoughts on all of what I just said?
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. I think the only underwhelming thing so far with the rally is the lack of Antifa and the lack of agitators. It's a breath of fresh air. I'm from Atlanta, so I was actually out in Atlanta with my friends the first night that I guess Buckhead in particular is where I was, and it was pretty much destroyed. The shops of Buckhead were looted. It was scary. We heard ambulances all night and everything, and I was just a block away. So from that happening to last week, Wendy's burning down, it's terrible things that are happening across the country, but especially in my backyard. So I've been watching that, and I was thinking coming here things would be similar to that, but President Trump did tweet, and I don't know if it was his tweet and him as a show of force that kind of scared them away, but he did tweet earlier this week, and he said, any protesters, anarchists, agitators, looters, or lowlifes who are going to Oklahoma, please understand you will not be treated like you have been in New York, Seattle, or Minneapolis. It will be a much different scene. And knowing President Trump and what he's done before, when somebody crosses that red line, he is not afraid to use force. So I, for one, wasn't scared to come here. I knew that security would be really tough and that we would be protected. So I was excited to come here. I was hoping that things would happen, but I haven't seen anything. So I'm excited to be here. Jordan, back to you.
Thanks so much, Liz. We're being haggled by...
Other people cross the red line. Then President Trump isn't afraid to fire back. Yes, ma'am. Other people. Specifically North Korea.
Here in the United States.
What?
Where here in the United States?
What are you talking about?
Red line that he's crossed here?
No, like I said again, I was talking about other people crossing the red line and President Trump supporting his ethics and decisions, fighting back. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you now. No, you're running. I'm just like, I already listened to CNN.
We're good. We're not seeing it.
We have some people wanting to provide commentary on our reporting out here, so we appreciate all of your opinions and comments, and thank you for your feedback on what we're doing. But as Liz was saying, the president holds the red line in making sure that those who wish to agitate, cause destruction, violence aren't able to do so, and I think that's a great thing. You're allowed to peacefully protest. The First Amendment grants you the right to peaceably assemble, to come out, have your voice heard, and make sure that your point is getting across, but not in a violent way, not in burning things, not in destroying things, because that's not the way that you have your voice heard. That's not the way you have opinions. The people out here who are Republicans who support the president are not having their voice heard by destroying the dominoes right there and by breaking into the bank right there. They're doing so by coming out here, peacefully assembling and supporting their president tomorrow, and I think that's a great thing, a beautiful thing to see. Now, there have been very peaceful protests across the country in response to the George Floyd killing, and those have been great to see. And the people who have gone out there, both sides of the aisle, awesome. We appreciate you supporting and exercising your First Amendment right peacefully. But to those, as Liz mentioned, who are burning the Wendy's, who are destroying buildings downtown Atlanta, who are destroying small businesses, who are the lifeblood of this economy, that's really not okay. And so it's important to make that distinction. Yes, you are allowed to have your voice heard. No, by law, you're not allowed to destroy buildings. And at the end of the day, I mean, we've seen that from what was, a news cycle about the death of George Floyd has turned into a news cycle about the destruction. So it really overshadows the protesters' message in the end, because we're no longer talking about the protests. We're talking about the Wendy's burning in Atlanta. So it's kind of counterproductive and really isn't helpful to the cause at large, but it's been great to see the peaceful assembly out here of these supporters ready to see their president tomorrow. Zoe, do you agree with that, disagree with that?
I agree with that 100%. And going back to where you're talking about peaceful assembly, so, I mean, even in... Let's head back there. Like I was saying, even seeing, I participated in a protest in honor of standing up against police brutality, and I was able to see firsthand people peacefully protesting, and I've had several debates with other people trying to justify and saying that it is okay to riot and okay to loot as long as our voices are being heard, and how it is hard for us to how it's hard for us as African Americans to be heard by the white man. So there's no other way to do it but to do it in that manner, which is not correct. But anyways, like I said, I'm all for peaceful protest. The Constitution is for the American citizens. We must abide by that in peaceful assembly. And I am not for the riotings, and I'm not for the looting and anything like that. Anyways, I'm going to grab Liz. Let's see here. Should we go ahead and walk around, or?
Yeah, we're going to move back down a little bit this way. I wanted to get from, I know a lot of you are in the comments, have some strong reactions to what just took place back there. But yes, it is.
He does not have a mask on. That's awesome. These guys think Oklahomans wear masks. Yeah, we don't wear masks. We're not scared. Look at this guy.
There's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of controversy over mask wearing here in Oklahoma. A lot of people are for it. A lot of people are against it. At the end of the day, it's up to your own opinion. I would encourage you to wear a mask. All of our crew here, we had to wear masks on the plane today. But, you know, we'll leave it up to you guys at home to decide whether or not you want to wear one. So that's all I got to say on that. But some very heated people, some very opinionated people, I will say, like the woman who engaged with us back there and the guy who just talked about the mask wearing back there. So definitely a passionate crowd, I will say that tonight. And people are not afraid to express their opinions for sure. Also want to thank you all for tuning in and joining us here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. If you want to know how you can support us and keep us on the road, going to each and every one of these rallies, you can head over to rsbnetwork.com/donate. There you can donate via credit card, debit card, PayPal. It's a tried, true, and trusted source to make sure your money is going straight to us. You can also donate in the YouTube Super Chat by clicking the $ in the bottom corner of that chat. There you can leave us a message. However, YouTube does get 30% of that revenue, so we would prefer you head on over to rsbnetwork.com/donate as we get over 95% of that money. If you're old school, you can write us a check the old-fashioned way to our P.O. Box. That address is available on our website, and also I'm going to ask the moderators to drop that address in the description so you can copy it, write it down, do whatever. We love getting the letters and notes that you all write from us. And lastly, if you want to do an easy way where you just set it and forget it, you can head on over to patreon.com/RSBN, where you can become a monthly member. There's tons of tiers from like $1 all the way up to like $500 a month. So you can enter your credit card information. You get a variety of perks, and that way you don't have to continue having to donate each and every rally. It's a one and done sort of thing. Liz? Zoe? Anything else to add? Well, that about does it for us here in Tulsa, Oklahoma tonight. We have a very long day tomorrow. As we mentioned, we're going to be starting coverage around 10 a.m. local time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, which is 3-4 hours earlier than we usually do, but we want to bring you continuing all-day coverage of tomorrow's events. As I said, the president's going to be speaking at 6 p.m. Local time outside, and then at 7 p.m. inside. So we anticipate the president speaking for 2 to 3 hours. So for all of you who've been missing Trump rally content, you are sure going to get a lot of it tomorrow. He might have a record-setting speech. I know his longest rally speech or campaign speech was at CPAC 2 years ago, and it went, I think, for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I have a feeling tomorrow's might top that, but
No, because he has to do the pre-speech, so maybe.
I think he's speaking outside for an hour, and then inside he might go for 2 hours. So if you combine those, I'm combining them. Yes, I'm combining them, not one continuous thing. I'm combining them. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great day. We're going to speak to a lot of people out here early in the morning, so make sure you tune in tomorrow again at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, roughly. Due to technical issues, we may be a little bit later than that. However, our goal is to be on time each and every time. Knock on wood, that will not happen. We're having good juju this rally because it's been a while, and we deserve it, if I'm being honest with you. But yes, it's been a great night. We hope you've enjoyed a little bit of a sneak preview we've been able to provide out here as people line up to see the president tomorrow. Again, make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, have a great night. Take care. And from all of us here at Right Side, we'll see you tomorrow.